Very well. After the APC set up its committee, the recommendations are coming in, and the party says they are ready to receive the recommendation. Joining us right now from our Abuja studio is the Publicity Secretary of the APC, Bolaji Abdullah. Many thanks for joining us. I hope you can hear us now. My colleague Blessing asked you earlier, that was why the sudden change. You've always maintained that there is nothing like a restructuring with the manifesto of the APC. Why do we have the change now? Did you cave in just because of the clamor for the people, or because you felt there is a need for it?
Well, I don't think your information about APC's position on restructuring accurately reflects our position. At no point did we as a party say we don't believe in restructuring, or that we are not committed to restructuring, because we've always emphasized that restructuring is a core component of our manifesto and is the foundation of our ideology as a coalition of political parties that came together to form the APC. The argument was that restructuring had been trapped in all kinds of interpretations, to the extent that we are no longer sure that what is intended by our party when we promise restructuring is the same thing that other people mean when they use the word restructuring. For example, at the point that people were issuing ultimatums for other people to leave a part of the country, at the point that people were talking about breaking up the country, we cannot assume that we all mean the same thing when we say restructuring. So that's the point we have tried to make over the last couple of weeks, and that is why we've set up the committee that you made reference to. But at no point did APC say we don't believe in restructuring.
All right, can you tell us some of the recommendations made by this nine-member committee, and how soon we're going to be seeing the implementation?
Well, I mean, we are still, if you recall, the committee that you mentioned that had been set up, chaired by Governor Nasiru El-Rufai, initially, the scope of our responsibility was to articulate the party's notion of restructuring. If you read our manifesto, we're very clear on what restructuring means in the context of that manifesto, which is anchored on devolving more power, more responsibilities to the states, to the component states of the federation. That is, in essence, at the core of APC's notion of restructuring. But realizing that as a political party, we also have a responsibility to listen to other people and to carry on board other people's agitation or demands in the context of the need to restructure the country. The committee, the El-Rufai committee, had decided to do zonal consultations across the country, what we call town hall meetings, to aggregate the opinions and views of different people from across the country on the issue of restructuring. Of course, we are also conscious of the fact that some work has been done in this respect in the past. The previous administration in 2014 called the Constitutional Conference in Abuja, and the report was submitted to that government 1 year before the end of the administration. But this report is also part of what we are bringing on board. But we are aware that a critical section of this country, young people below the age of 35, were never really given a voice